What's going on, truth seekers? Welcome to another episode of the Zen Gen podcast, or I would like to say Spirit School. Now the class is in session, and I'm gonna bless y'all with back-to-back episodes. Hopefully, if there's enough bandwidth. But I know I haven't posted an episode in a few weeks, but I've been going hard, like I always say, on my social media platforms. So if you're looking for quick, digestible clips, definitely hit up my TikTok and my Instagram. I'm starting to get more active on the Hi-Fi Healer page on Instagram. I'm already doing it on TikTok, but I'm starting to do a little bit more on there if you only use Instagram. But in any event, so something crossed my mind because I was actually, looking around social media, and I was just blown away by how people view others with spiritual gifts. And it made me think about how much people don't realize that they carry some of these spiritual gifts within them. So I like to use the phrase spiritual gifts instead of psychic gifts because, unfortunately, because of the way society has painted individuals' souls with spiritual gifts, they have made a joke out of psychics, that word. And it's like when you hear that word, you automatically put up a defense mechanism, or you're quick to judge, or, think it's bullshit or what have you. So I like to use the phrase or the term spiritual gifts instead because that's what it is. And so I don't think many people realize that they can have access to these gifts too. It's innately in everybody. Sure, some people come here with specific gifts in advance, depending on the mission, depending on their soul's journey, depending on how they're adding to the collective. People who have access to this, right? These spiritual gifts, they're also on their own journey of discernment of whether they're going to use their gift for good or use it for bad. You can't do both. You can't do fucked up shit with your gift and then do good shit at the same time and try to balance that out. You're given that gift for one mission, one pure reason, that is to assist and help people. And so a lot of people might not feel comfortable with what I just said because, a lot of spiritual folks tend to use their shit for fuckery, and no, that is not okay. People also tend to clump anyone that has any type of spiritual gift into one category, that they all can see the future, that they all can see future timelines, And that's not true. People have a variety of different gifts, and I'm going to run through some, and you quite possibly could connect with one, two, or all of them. But like I always say, don't force the fit. It's not you, it's not you. But what I am saying, though, is you have the ability to get there if you weren't born with these gifts. Because once upon a time in other lifetimes, we all had this knowledge. We all had access to it. And we all used it. That's why I'm saying it's already ingrained in you. But unfortunately, what keeps these gifts, which ultimately comes from having high vibrations and higher consciousness as well, is your suppression, the trauma you've been through in life, your surroundings, your environment. Think of it like, okay, what I'm seeing is like a body and light glowing around it, right? Like your energy, your aura, right? And Here you are connected, fully bright, fully light, fully clear and pure, right? And then all these things start happening to you. Emotional situations, physical things, right? And then just imagine that light starting to just die down a bit each time that happens. Eventually, you're in this closed container, aka the shell, aka that light that's around you. So you won't have access to these parts of you. So the more you do the healing, which I always say, everything begins from within, the more your consciousness not only elevates, but also your energy, right? Your chakras, which I talk about here a lot, everything is aligned. And now you are in a vibration where you are able to be fully connected to access these gifts. And anyone can do that. Anyone can. You not only you'll remember, but it's also about believing. So, for instance, some of you out there, this is a spiritual gift if you do not know this, are clairsentient. Clairsentients are people who are very, very sensitive to energy, very sensitive to the people around them. They can pick up things just straight off of feeling through their intuition, their gut. You could quite possibly even see it in your mind's eye, like in your head. Visualize it. These are all parts of being clairsentient. It's like you already have a feeling when someone says something to you, how it's going to turn out. And then it always turns out that way. Real quick, when it comes to intuition, what you should try to do or could do is every time, it can be something big or small, but every time you have a gut feeling about something, just jot it down somewhere on a piece of paper and see if it turns out right or wrong later on. That's a great way to see if you are really, really zeroed in on your clairsentience. Now, there's also claircognizance. Claircognizance is just an inner knowing. There's no rhyme or reason, at least in the physical way sense, right? How you know that something is what it is, how things are going to transpire. You just know. You just know it. And it happens that way. Sometimes you can have a vision of it to some capacity of something transpiring, but other times it's just you know. You know. You don't see it, you don't hear it, you don't feel it. It's just, you just know. Like if someone said to you, oh, hey, I'm buying a house on, I don't know, Sycamore Street. Instantly you're like, that house is going to cost you more than you realize. You just know it's not going to be a good scenario for this person. It's just, you know. And then later on it happens. That might not be the best example, but you know what I mean. It's just, there's no explanation. You just already have it, the answer in you. And again, people can have multitude of gifts, even all these clairs. Then there's clairvoyance, which a lot of people know. You're able to see into future timelines. You get a lot of prophetic dreams. You're able to see into other dimensions, meaning for mediums who can see past loved ones around them. They can see spirits. That's all part of clairvoyance. There's also clairaudience. Clairaudience are people who actually hear things, hear a voice or a whisper in their ear or in their mind. So someone that I know a bunch of spiritually gifted people, but the way they've explained it, the ones that are able to actually hear something, it's a whisper. Someone says something. And for other times, if you're clairaudient, you might be asking something and then boom, you hear it in your head, the answer. that's connection to spirit, obviously, and divine, and that's clairaudience. So there's so many other ways that you people have these deep connections, and again, these connections to these gifts, and again, you might have all of these and not know it. And I can speak to this because, when I was younger and the majority of these clairs was happening to me, I didn't know I didn't know what was happening. I was just kind of like, all right, go. I just thought that's what it was. When I was connecting with, God, when I was connecting with spirit, my spirit team, and you're a kid, you don't know, right? You're seeing shit, having a convo in your mind with some, you just don't realize what's going on. Or you just know something happens and then it happens. Like, that's the way it's always been. And a lot of you out there who have these gifts, there's no reason to be afraid or embarrassed by it. You're not going to be shamed and shunned from the world for it. In fact, y'all need to fucking own it and explore that shit, especially during this time of the age of Aquarius. This is the era for it. This is the time for it. It's not a coincidence you're seeing so much spiritual content, so many spiritual conversations, companies, whatever, out there right now. It's because everyone is raised in consciousness right now. It's because, I've said this before on this podcast, but energies hitting the planet right now, it's so damn high. This has all been prophesized, of course, this awakening. So it is here. It is here. And everyone is waking up to it. You're all waking up to it. So if you have these spiritual gifts, this is the moment for you to use them. It doesn't have to be on a large scale. It can be small ways. Just you in your everyday life. Maybe helping the people around you with your gifts. You know what I'm saying? But there's no reason to be afraid. The reason why you are maybe afraid or embarrassed is because if you do have your gift and you haven't been open about it yet, it's because of past life trauma. Back in the day, you have used your gifts publicly, or people have known about it, and you were either tortured, shot, killed, hung, burned, whatever. Yes, all of that, y'all. All of that because of your gifts. They called it heresy. They called it sorcery. And listen. Oh, another spiritual gift I forgot to mention is, if you're good with plants as well, being able to put together herbs, sort of like a medicine man, a medicine woman, to, excuse me, my throat chakra's going, like they don't want me to say this, to come up with holistic medicines and stuff. That's also a gift, spiritual gift. And that's due to your connection to spirit team, helping you to put these herbs or medicines together. I don't know why that just crossed my mind to say, but I guess they didn't want me to leave that out. So again, there's so many ways. And it's all... I was talking to somebody, I'm not talking to somebody. I created a TikTok because, I've been getting comments here and there from from very, very religious folks when I show videos of my energy healing, or when I show videos of, if I voice my opinion on certain topics. And it's just like, back and then, whenever, however, a lot of what was told to people, whether it be passed down through stories or written, whatever, has been manipulated in such a way that it is not in its raw, authentic way. Meaning, like, I'll say this for the spirituality religion episode, which is the next episode, but they hid a lot of information from the masses, in religion too, because they wanted to control the way you moved, the way you operate. Now, that doesn't mean to go and be buck wild out there, like fuck everything that, they say or whatever. That's not what I'm saying, because the principles of religion are of divine light. But like I was saying, it's been manipulated though down the road, and even in the beginning also, which I'll get into the next episode. But that was created. I'm bringing this up because anyone who has a spiritual gift, and if you have a spiritual gift, you probably use tarot cards or crystals or know about energy healing or whatever other modality you use to connect with spirit. And that was all freaking demonized to suppress people. I bring this up because I was talking about the past lives, how, people who are spiritually gifted have had incarnations where that happened to them. That's why they're so afraid to be open and public about it. Some of you out there, at least. And so anything that was outside of what others at the time knew was considered sorcery, heresy, demonic. And I say that because I don't want any of y'all to be afraid, to be fearful of being open and being authentically yourself, sharing your gifts to whatever capacity you want to share it. That's up to you. Or feel like an outcast because you do have these gifts. No, my love, there are many of us out there just like you. Many. You're seeing it now. So I guess this episode is a call for any spiritual divine workers out there who aren't already putting their gifts to work. And by work, I mean giving back to humanity, helping the collective. Again, it doesn't have to be big. You don't have to go be the biggest freaking, psychic or whatever in the world. It can be very, very small. Again, like just helping your friend or helping some people you love, whatever that might be, your neighbor with your gift, whatever it is. But by you having these gifts now, there's a reason you have it, and that is because you are part of the collective that are helping to show a way shower, teach, and assist, of course, and possibly lead others to their peace, to their happiness, to their alignment, to bring them back to the light. We're never apart from God because we are fragments of God, source, the creator. But because of karmic loops we've been stuck in, low vibrational decisions, that keeps us disconnected from God's source, the creator. Not believing in that is a disconnect from the light. Doing things in life that are not of the light. So you can be one of those people, divine workers, to help others get back to the light and to their true selves again. From an authentic place with integrity. So if you're listening and you know you have the gift or gifts, or if you think you have the gifts, either way, test them out or put it into action, because we need you right now. We need you assisting, because yes, the collective on this planet are all awakening, but they have to continue to have that momentum and energy to continue on their road to their enlightenment, to their awakening, through their awakening. So they need people like yourselves to guide them there, to show them that it's possible, and to give them hope. So I wanted to just make this quick episode and share my thoughts on it, because I was getting so fucking annoyed of people just saying, oh, you're psychic? Oh, so, what's going to happen to me in 3 weeks or something, or like in a month? Like, yo, chill. Not everyone has the gift of foresight, of seeing into timelines, but they have the other gifts. And sometimes when that happens, people just assume that you're a fake and a phony spiritually gifted person or psychic or what have you, because you're not able to see in the futures, when there are so many other types of clairs that one can have to be considered spiritually gifted. I really just want you all, whoever's listening, if you feel like this is for you, this episode's for you, 'cause it's very specific, sit and think about it and clock in, check in, because God, source, the creator, and all the divine beings, all of us, we all need you. Together, united in our spiritual energy, in our light, we're going to fuck up the world, fuck up the place in a good way. We already have, but doesn't hurt to have more. All right? So think about what I said. And if all else fails, just quiet your mind, meditate a little bit, think to yourself, because everything begins from within. And trust me, you'll find the answers when you do that, of what to do or what you should do. Because your higher self, your spirit team are gonna respond to you. Okay? I'll catch you on the next episode. Love and light. Peace.